Hey Pisces, here's your weekly horoscope for February 14 to February 20th. Well, we start out the week with the moon in Pisces and we end the week with the sun in Pisces. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Whenever the moon is in your sun sign, which will occur about once a month for everybody because the moon moves the most quickly in the zodiac, you generally have more of your emotions tied into your sun sign characteristics. Now, Pisces is already an emotional sign, so when the moon is in your sign, it does tend to make you even more emotional. That can be for good or can be for bad. It depends whether the feelings are good or bad. So just do know that you will start out the week in a very emotional mode, and you're ending the week with the sun in Pisces, which may also activate your Piscean sensitivity and emotions. So be aware for the better part of this week, you are on high sensitivity alert, Pisces. So keep that in mind if you feel like taking a strip off somebody or doing other sort of Mercury retrograde things. Let's move to the good news. Mercury is done its retrograde on the 20th. It will be at station, and then from Sunday moving forward, all planets will be direct, nothing retrograde. So that is a great sigh of relief for a lot of people because things will begin to move forward more fully once Mercury is not retrograde anymore. There is a slight shadow period that will take us into March when, well, after Mercury retrograde, often there's a lot of putting things back together and a lot of fixing things still that needed to be done during the Mercury retrograde. So there's a little bit of cleanup still into early March. But Venus is in Aquarius, Jupiter's in Aquarius, Saturn is still in Aquarius as well. And those three planets end up in your 12th house of hidden matters. So lately, aside from quarantines and such, you probably haven't been seen by people because you tend to hide away. The 12th house is your natural house. And when the going gets a little bit scary or tough, you tend to hide away like a fish that swims deep to the bottom of the sea. So this week, yeah, you still might be a little bit on the hidden mode and keeping to yourself. And you know what? It's probably a good idea while we're still in the last week of Mercury retrograde. Now, we do have Venus and Mars squaring off with each other all week, pretty much from Monday on. Venus will trine the moon's north node until Tuesday, and what that means is almost everybody will be more in touch with expressing feelings, especially love. Why not? The week starts with Valentine's Day, right? So that's not necessarily a bad thing because Pisces likes to have emotions going back and forth. It's how you feel alive. Now, with the Venus-Mars square, that does tend to create some frustrations for people relating to their love life or sometimes with any other fight or dispute that they may have had with a friend, a family member, or a coworker. So be aware that all of those things are possible this week. Either you're going after somebody or somebody's going after you because you're not happy about something. So there's still a bit of some frustration and strife going on. We still have Saturn squaring Uranus until April as well. And that planetary cycle is intended for nearly everybody to take a look at where they need to adjust some structures in their life. Change is welcome by some signs, not so much by others. Your sign, you can handle it. You know, you tend to be a little bit fearful of almost anything that's new when it first comes up. But once you have had some time to assimilate changes, you adjust. You're a mutable sign, so you do okay eventually. So I would suggest to not fight the changes as much, unless you really, really feel they're not resonating with you. But it would be a good idea, perhaps, Pisces, to embrace some of the positive changes that you're being pushed into. Some new pathways, some new ways of dealing with people even, perhaps, could be on the agenda. Now, with Chiron sextiling Saturn pretty much all month, boy, we sure need that when Jupiter is squaring Lilith, Venus is squaring Mars, and Saturn is squaring Uranus. Even this one small aspect with Chiron sextiling Saturn does help to defray some of the stress and frustration this week for everybody. For yourself, Chiron is in the second house of finances, sustenance, and nurturing. So if there's anywhere in your life where you need to bring about balance or healing to anything that sustains or nurtures you, things like food, shelter, clothing, home, all of these areas you may be looking at redeveloping. Sometimes people will use a Mercury retrograde to go through their closet and pack up things for the secondhand stores and get rid of that old energy and invite in some new. So as we're into the last week of Mercury retrograde, it is a good idea to see if there's anything that you need to purge or perhaps be done with and get to it. And then hopefully as we go a little closer into March and we're into Pisces time, things will continue to improve for you, Pisces. I certainly hope so. Have a great week ahead.